Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Melanie Dean. I'm a psychologist, a scientist, and a Hay House author of the book, The Hidden Power of Emotions. And you're listening to the Wave Maker podcast, where we explore how your emotions are real energy waves that are more powerful than you think. And so are you. When you learn how to tap the power of your emotions, you can attract everything in life that you want. It's not just positive thinking, it's science, and I will show you how. Hello, I'm Dr. Melanie Dean, and today I would like to talk about humility. That is, better said, how to share the best of yourself with others. How is it that being humble is actually a strength, being in touch with your own strength and your own wisdom? And with that, experiencing a greater sense of joy, satisfaction, peacefulness, and meaningful connection with others. So those are all good reasons to tune in to that empowering space within you that knows your own strengths, your own weaknesses, can love and accept yourself, which allows you then to truly see other people and to accept them and to receive what they have to offer you as well. So let's dive in and let's look at what humility is and what it isn't, the benefits that it brings you, how empowering it is for you in your life. We'll look at some examples. We'll look at how it affects your health, how it affects others for sure, and why cultivating it is important to you and how to do that. So let's dive in. What is humility? It's knowing that we all are on a journey of gathering wisdom and navigating life, of using our strengths and our weaknesses to get through life the best way we can, accumulating the wisdom and the knowledge that goes with that. We all would like to think that we can grow into a space of being fully buttoned up, being in charge and being in control and being able to predict and manage whatever is happening in our lives. The truth is that none of us really have full control over anything because we don't have full control over others. We cannot control all events that happen in our life. Therefore, we are always in a process of growing, learning, and navigating new roads in life. We all are on that journey. Humility is the ability to truly know who you are, your own strengths and your own weaknesses, embrace yourself fully with love and compassion for what you offer the world and for where you are still growing and learning. And in that space of love and compassion for yourself, which is a space of strength and wisdom, truly, you then are able to truly see others in that same space and that same journey of growing and learning and navigating life as best as possible. We all are on that same journey. So humility is not about downplaying yourself in order for other people to be feeling higher than you or you to be putting them higher than you. Humility is actually the exact opposite of that. It is knowing yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself, and having compassion for yourself. When you know and you're in tune and in touch with your strengths, with what you bring to this world, what you offer others in your life, and you are in touch with the things that you do that maybe drive other people crazy, maybe they drive yourself crazy, you're in touch with those things that are not so great, and you also bring that into the world. When you truly embrace your full self with love and compassion, you see yourself fully, you then are able to fully see others for what they bring to the world, what they have to offer you, that we're all on a journey in which we can learn from each other, in which we can uplift each other. So you are able then to share the best of yourself with others and to lift them up. This is a place of true wisdom and strength within yourself. It's worthy of really knowing how it works, feeling how it works within yourself, and giving yourself permission to grow in this way. You will feel greater joy, greater happiness, and an ability to navigate life with help from others and helping others in the process. Truly, being able to be humble with knowing you are a part of the world in the same way that everybody else is. And you can support others and they can support you. A very powerful place indeed. So let's dive in and let's look a little bit about not only does this place of humility, which is really the space of strength and wisdom within yourself, where you can see and support others. This place of humility, how it affects you physically and your health, that might be surprising, and how come scientifically that impacts others. So you've probably heard some of my teachings, and you know that when you feel emotions, any emotion, that your body creates a real energy molecule to match that emotion. So when you are in touch and seeing yourself fully, owning and embracing your own strengths and your weaknesses, that automatically brings a sense of peace and calm to you. That loving acceptance of yourself creates molecules of love and well-being and happiness like oxytocin and serotonin and dopamine that all are then working in your system and communicating to the cells in your body. Those molecules of peacefulness, contentment with yourself, and happiness, they communicate to the cells in your body that all is safe and well. Now that means that your cells can function to their highest. So for example, all of the cells in your heart can function to their highest and they can have a strong heart. All of the cells in your liver and your kidneys and your stomach and all of that can function at its highest. So when you feel a sense of contentment with yourself, safety with yourself because you are loving and accepting of yourself, the cells in your body can do their best job in keeping you healthy. Conversely, if you are denying who you really are, you don't really fully see yourself. You fight against the ways of going that you have that you wish you didn't have. We all have ways of going we wish we didn't have. Instead of fighting with them, we can actually acknowledge them, own them, embrace them, and choose what we're going to do with them and how we're going to transform them. We don't have to deny them. When we deny those parts of ourselves that we wish we didn't have, that creates a great deal of tension and anxiety within us. That tension and that anxiety communicates to the cells in your body that it's not safe. And when that communication happens to cells and they have a signal that says it's not safe, that means fear to the cells in your body. Your cells do not know the difference from when you are feeling tension and anxiety and regret and remorse about some aspect of yourself. It just translates it inside your body that things are not well. There's something to be anxious and worried and fearful about. And that decreases the functioning of the healthy functioning of your cells. It pumps more blood and oxygen to your heart and your muscles, which is fine in a short period of time when needed. You just don't want to do that regularly because that sets your body up for not being its full healthy self. So not only does being in touch with your own strengths and your own weaknesses and fully embracing who you are. Not only does that allow you to fully be present and see others, but it affects your own health. Those molecules of energy within you allow your body to be healthier. Well, the molecules of energy inside those molecules, deep inside the tiniest part, is spinning waves of energy that actually communicate outside your body as well. And those waves of energy, when you are in a place of compassion for yourself, love and acceptance of yourself, you then are producing molecules that produce waves of energy communicating outside your body that are smooth and evenly spaced and calm and peaceful. Now, physicists say your waves of energy, whether they be chaotic and anxious and fearful, or whether they be calm, loving, peaceful, and smooth and evenly spaced, they are all out there sniffing and seeking for other similar waves of energy. Now that means that when you're in a place of humility, knowing you have strengths and weaknesses just like everybody else, knowing you have the ability to see the best in yourself, accept your own aspects that you wish were different, you have that ability to see the best in others and lift them up. That energy is seeking a match. So you then are automatically pulling forth and connecting with the energy in other people that wants the same. Other people who want to be seen, just as you like to be seen. Other people who want to be uplifted by having a relationship and a conversation with you, just as you would like to be uplifted in having conversations and relationships with others. So your energy then is finding a match. It's able to sync, and that syncing allows you greater, deeper connection with the people in your life. That brings you greater joy, greater meaning, and a greater sense of contentment with yourself and what your abilities are in being able to uplift others. So the give and take of humility is in knowing yourself, loving yourself, accepting yourself, and knowing everybody else is on a journey of wisdom in their life with the struggles that they've had and with their experiences, and you can learn from them as well. You can uplift them and you can learn from them. So I have an example that is a little bit hard to talk about. If you've listened to a couple of my past podcasts, you know that I've had a struggle with how to be the best parent for my son who is struggling to free himself from addiction to substances. How to navigate the intensity of my fear around that process. Such a very difficult process, this journey that affects not only him, but of course all of us in the family that love him very much. Now, I'm a psychologist, and in my past years, I counseled many people and parents and families around substance abuse and how to get past and deal with that struggle in their life. And here I am, a teacher, sitting here, teaching and have a book published about the power of emotions and teaching about the mastery of emotions. And in the navigation of my life, with things that are present for me, I'm dealing with fear. I'm dealing with how to navigate and be supportive of my son. And I realize and want to share the gratitude I have for seeking out the deep, honest communication with other people around what is going on with me. Allowing myself to receive their wisdom, and their help. That has uplifted me, that has helped me to feel more peaceful, to be seen, to know that I'm loved. So in allowing myself to be vulnerable, to not have all the answers, I'm navigating life, and I'm navigating this aspect of life just as millions of other parents are navigating this aspect of life. I am not unique. I don't have anything special. I have struggles in life just like you do and everyone does. And allowing myself to be present and fully present to give to others, other parents. My husband and I have joined a parent support group that has really bringing so much care and support to both of us in this process. We are able to offer that to others, and both of us feel so grateful receiving the wisdom from other parents that are navigating the same difficult journey. So humility is about knowing you are in the mix of life with lots of other people, to allow yourself to contribute what is yours to contribute, owning your strengths, owning your weaknesses, and receiving wisdom in return from others. I remember in this process, I was talking about one of my weaknesses with this group of parents. And one of the parents came forward with this term that was so helpful to me, because I was describing that one of my strengths transcends into a big weakness. So one of my strengths is that I tend to look to the future. So whatever's happening today and whatever decisions are happening today, I automatically translate that into what does that mean for the future? Well, what happens in my fear mode is that then I get to going down all these lanes of all the terrible things that could happen. My fear escalates. My sense of control tightens. I want to be in charge of all those things. I want to have a plan for all those things. I want to control those things, negative things from happening. And I have a woman that just sighed and she laughed and she chuckled and she said, "You're future tripping." And I thought, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm future tripping. And she reminded me, as well intended as all of that is, to provide a good outcome for my son and for us as a family, and to try to stave off negative events, that future tripping doesn't really work. I can't control my son and the decisions and the actions he makes. All I can do is be present in the moment of what is happening and be the wisest parent I can be in that moment. So this other parent, she was so helpful. She allowed me to hear her wisdom through a chuckle and a label for what it was that I was doing that drives my family crazy and puts everybody around me in knots as it puts myself in knots, and allowed me to release that. So just being vulnerable and present to be able to receive the wisdom of others was so very helpful. And I can also tell you that I've had many opportunities to support and give of my wisdom to others. So being humble is knowing we're in the give and take of life with others, and we're all on a similar journey. Now I can remember it took me a long time to get past my frustration. Now this is another example of humbleness as it relates perhaps in a work setting. So we all have a desire in our work. We have a desire to be competent, to be successful, to get promotions, to do well, to feel good about the work we're doing, and to achieve with the goals we have in our work life. We all want that. Well, I remember years ago being part of a team that just drove me crazy. There were team members that in my mind were so bogged down with detail that we got stuck. And that affected me. It felt like I couldn't move ahead and do what I wanted to do in this work setting and achieve what I wanted to achieve and what was important even to the team. The team couldn't achieve it. It seemed like we were just bogged down. Well, I wasn't being very humble because I was thinking that they were wrong in having such an intense focus on details and getting us all bogged down in that. And as I mentioned before, my strength is, in the first place I go to, is how do decisions today affect things in the future? So I can do details, and I do them, but I get impatient with them when there's too many for too long, and I get very frustrated. So that's a weak side of me, is the frustration that wells up with too many details for too long of a period of time. Well, when I finally accepted my own strengths and weaknesses, that is my strength to look to the future and how decisions and choices today will play out in the future. It's a wonderful strength I have. And when I embraced that, that felt good to me. I was in touch with my own strength. When I also embraced that I'm not so good and patient with the details, I get frustrated easily. When I allowed myself to just say, yes, that's me. It's a struggle I have. I am working to improve it. But when I acknowledged it, things calmed down within me. And I was then able to see there's a place for those details. Those details are important. If we just went to my strength and we just looked at how today's decision played out to the future, but we never considered the details, the logistics of how to carry forth decisions in a good manner, probably decisions would unfold in a rather messy way. So there is a balance of what I had to offer and what they had to offer. And when I came down to a place of really accepting myself, knowing that I have strengths and weaknesses that can be present in the room, along with other people's strengths and weaknesses, then I was able to, in a very kind way, contribute my focus on the future with some questions that helped us move along. I also was able to support and say how much I appreciated the details that were being brought forth that were important to consider. Well, all of that allowed the whole team to move forward, and all of us were able to more smoothly and joyfully progress in the work of our team and in our achievements at work. So the process of knowing myself and accepting myself and loving and having compassion for both my strengths and my weaknesses allowed me fully to be present, see, and support others with their strengths and weaknesses. Truly being humble in knowing we are all in the mix of life and sharing that together. Now, this next example, I know all of you can relate in some manner to having people in your life that do something that it's not your way of going at all. You don't like it, and you certainly wish you didn't have to put up with it. So for me, I'm thinking about living in a home with other people who do not value it being neat and tidy. They do not see the messiness. It doesn't land on their radar screen. Their values and priorities are focused elsewhere. I really like a clean space, and so it's really hard for me to be in a space that is full of stuff, messiness and stuff. And yet I live with some people that there's a trail that goes with them wherever they go. I can see everything they've touched. It's just scattered and set down everywhere. And so I really had to wrestle with myself over this because it's a strong need of mine to be in a clean space and to then figure out how do I navigate others that don't have that. We are different, seeing and accepting others for who they are. So when I calmed down and I really just knew that this is a value of mine, I really like being in a clean space. And I acknowledged, and really I see that other people in my family have strengths and abilities that are different than mine. And this value of picking up after themselves in the moment is not on their radar screen. So I just acknowledged that and accepted that. I allowed myself the gift of meeting my own need for a clean space. I chose that on a daily basis in our common areas, I would just clean up the space that I wanted to be in. I would pick it up and throw the trash away and put things away that needed to be put away. Sometimes that took longer than other times, but in the end, I could be in that space and enjoy that space. And in my acceptance of others and my acceptance of myself, I worked out an agreement with people in my family. One family member, we have an agreement that once a week, he's going to clean up space and the common areas that we share. And another family member, it's once every 2 weeks. So it just kind of depends on the family member, what their situation is, what they need to, because we were coming together to come up with a solution that we could all live with. So the ability to be humble and know that your way is not the only way in the world. Other people also are navigating the world in good, successful ways with their strengths and their weaknesses, and we are getting along together in this world. And so my ability to see and own my own desires for my own clean space, and just to accept that other people in my home were different, and to work out something that we could all live with without my anger and frustration being underneath that, which would have been undermined an ability to work out a solution we could all live with. So very important to allow the transformation of truly accepting yourself and loving yourself and having compassion for yourself. To allow that transformation to extend for accepting and having compassion for others. You no longer then approach with resentment or anger. You approach with a common support of can you both get your needs met? What can you do to meet your own needs? And how can you work with them to meet their needs, and they can also come and help meet your needs? So I know that was a lot of examples for how humility shows up in your life, how humility really is a strength of wisdom within you. So let's talk about a few things, 4 things really, that you can focus on that will cultivate this strength and wise self within you. Let's look at 4 ways in which you can cultivate the strength and wisdom that you have within yourself, the humility that you bring to relationships with others that allows you to be your best self and allows you to uplift and support others. So the first way is to be mindful of yourself, to really see, accept, own, love, and have compassion for yourself, your own strengths and your own weaknesses. In being able to fully embrace yourself, you can bring that love and compassion to others as well. So the second step is in having a growth mindset. We all are navigating life, and all of us in one way or another tend to learn from the life experiences that we've had. We all have the ability to grow and reflect on what's happened to us and to cultivate wisdom within ourselves as a result of that. So therefore, our way is not the only way. Everybody has their own unique way, and we can learn from each other. So having a growth mindset allows you to grow in your own wise self, and it allows you to connect and really learn from others as well. How did they navigate? What worked for them? How can you be supportive of them in that process? And how can you learn from them? Truly a strong, humble, loving ability to have relationships with others. So the third step is gratitude. Gratitude for yourself and gratitude for others. So every day, identify at least one thing you feel grateful for within yourself, a trait you have, a characteristic, something you are proud of yourself that you did well that day. Maybe you showed up in a way you haven't before and you're like, I'm thankful, that was good. I feel grateful for that. So identify one thing for yourself in gratitude each day. And identify one thing in somebody else that you feel grateful for. A trait within them, perhaps even a relationship that is important to you, and why is it important to you? So identify something in somebody else that you feel grateful for. That allows you truly to foster your ability to see and uplift others. Which brings us to step number 4, which is to focus on really supporting and uplifting others. To bring your full self to the relationship, your full self of love and compassion for yourself, which really allows you to fully see and have compassion and care and support and help others be their best self. And remember, sometimes in uplifting others, they get the benefit of being able to contribute their wisdom to you when you know and you allow that you too need help and support and uplifting at times in your life. So we are truly in a place where we're sharing this world together, and we can support and uplift each other. It starts being humble and experiencing the benefits of being humble. Starts with knowing yourself, loving yourself, accepting yourself, and allowing that to extend to others, seeing them and supporting them and uplifting them. Your life will be filled with more joy, more happiness, more contentment, more peace, and more meaning as you experience deeper relationships and deeper love and compassion within you. So here is to living your most powerful life. That's all for today's Wavemaker podcast. Thank you for listening. I have so much more to share with you, so be sure to tune in next month. And remember, go to my website, www.melaniedean.com, and join our free Wavemaker community, where you will receive even more science-backed advice for unlocking your emotional power.